Everybody, welcome back. We're doing another Marvel Future Revolution video. In this one, Netmarble finally speaks out. It's been the end of the year, beginning of the year. I tend to see that games, at least mobile ones that I've covered, are slow at that time of year. So it's not super surprising me. It's always frustrating every year, but I'm grown to the point where it's kind of like, yeah, I'm used to this. They just always do it. You add in the Lunar New Year to that, it makes it even longer. So we're going to talk about what they've got out there, and I'm expecting some stuff soon, maybe. So we're going to speculate a little bit on some of that and talk about what we think should and could come to the game. So I think some of this stuff could be happening as soon as a week or so, and let's go from there. If you're new to the channel, check out the Discord link description below. Hammer down like buttons, subscribe, notification bells, you know the drill. All right, let's get to it.
Bring me WolverThor!
All right, so the Netmarble thing is sort of a tongue-in-cheek. I actually have some legit speculation that I want to throw out there with some of this stuff, but they did finally get a post out. It's mainly some maintenance updates, some known issues. I'm not going to go through each one of these. I do want to just say that generally speaking, I like that they have a list of issues. I've played many other games where these don't even exist, and there's issues that go on forever. So I like that this is out there. While there's a much more extensive list that could be added to this, it's something. I'm taking this. I'm gonna roll with it. Some of the stuff they mentioned on here that it stuck out to me that I was happy to see was the dark zone points thing, where if you jump around a little bit, or if you're like, you go back into a zone or something, the points get wonky and it goes negative. It's just super weird. So I'm happy that they're kind of fixing that. I actually wish that during the hour that you ran, it just showed how many points you've kind of accumulated, but that's a different story. I also like on here where there was an item where they talked about Alliance of Mega War crashes. I forget exactly where it was at, but that was a serious pain. I know myself included, I've gotten kicked out of Alliance of Mega War numerous times. So happy to see they've acknowledged that and hopefully get it fixed pretty soon. The rest of the stuff is some character specialization cooldown things. The way I read that was they were all working as intended a little bit, but they were going to fix it, with the exception of there was a Star-Lord's skills that weren't doing damage. So that's a big deal for Star-Lords. They're already sort of like pretty insane. So them getting stronger is going to be very interesting. I don't know if the abilities are all of them or if it's just one that's rarely used, but that's something that's going to be interesting to see how it kind of adjusts. The rest of the stuff on here, again, I'm glad they're acknowledging it, they're seeing it, but it's nothing that I'm gonna sort of I see as majorly game changing. But I was happy they at least had this stuff on here and that they were tracking it. So I saw this post as sort of I don't want to call it an awakening, but it's sort of like coming out of the new year, being like, all right, you guys ready to do this? Let's get back to work. So I like that. It's a good start. So that tells me we can start talking about things that are going to be coming up. And like I mentioned, I'm going to do some speculation here. So I think we're going to get something next week. I don't know if it'll be a dev note. I think it's more than we haven't had a stream in a while, a live stream in a while. So I feel like we're probably due for one of those. I'm guessing they're going to talk about some of the upcoming things that the game has kind of just expected. I know some of this stuff that we've already kind of known about, or at least they've talked about it, right? I think that the first thing is characters, right? Balancing. That seems to be the biggest issue in the game right now. I think, I was talking about this with some friends on Discord last night, or maybe this week, but the game in general seems to be going through a situation where they're trying to get it balanced. And I think this is sort of the future of gaming, unfortunately. I don't love it, but it makes sense to me, I guess, from their perspective, where there is no amount of testing that these developers could do in-house that could properly balance the game. The only thing they could do is get it close, or what they think is close, and then actually get it out to the public and go, okay, let's see what the real players and people who are capable of really diving into this and figuring things out and really min-maxing what is broken and what's not broken, and we'll fix it from there. And then I think what they hope for is that the people like it enough that they can develop it and then really build on that base. I think that's sort of where gaming is at this point. And the hope is that one, you make enough money in that first, 3 to 18 month time range, depending on the game and, how good it is and how many issues there are, to where you get to that point and it's kind of, all right, we've got it fixed. And did everybody stay? Did we make enough money in that time to keep going for, a few years? And if they do, they're like, okay, cool. We've hit our initial benchmark and now we can go, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm off on that, but I'm thinking about another game I'm covering and playing, Lost Ark. And you can check out the second channel for that. It's in the description below if you're interested in other PC. That's a PC game though. And that game was out for 3 years, 3 years, and it's now just taking off. So I was like, it's interesting to kind of think about that. Now, is MFR going to be a 3-year development? No, I don't think so, because it's a mobile game. It's a little bit easier to kind of get zhuzhed out. But anyway, I just see all these things happening in gaming in general, and it makes me think, okay. So I think that, I mentioned, balancing. Some of the characters that we've kind of had to deal with is that, Doctor Strange, first off. Doctor Strange, Captain America seem to be the ones that they've been focused on that are still sort of lingering, right? Star-Lord and Storm were in that group before, but those two seem to be in a pretty good space. While Storm isn't great in PvP, she has at least a mechanic that is extremely annoying and capable of winning. So she's got capabilities there. Whereas Doctor Strange and Captain America are just, a huge Captain America, good God, good luck, killing them in Alliance Omega War. Just Lord. So now, having said that, I still think they're gonna make him a bit better. So Doctor Strange, we've been talking about this guy forever. We still haven't done our second roundtable. We've got our list. I did, they did the survey and that sort of covered a little bit, went over some of Busy's stuff. We still might do the second roundtable. We've got a bunch of list of suggestions. And it might be about time that we actually do that to say, okay, guys, we're now at that point. I think Doctor Strange is going to change here in the next few weeks. We've got this list. We've played them. What are your biggest things that you're wanting to see out of it? Captain America. One of the biggest things with him is, and the game in general is, you don't get rewarded for being a tank in basically any of the game modes outside of like a group PvP setting. And the reward is you're a support character who helps everybody else win. So I suppose that could be huge. And if you get some rewards for group wins and not like I got the most kills or I got the most damage, because then everyone's just going on DPS. It's like, well, I need stuff too. I would like to see that where they give some assist scoring where, I guess if you taunt or do something somehow that, you get some, anyway, that's a different conversation. So I think Captain America is going to get some things that we're going to see where he's going to survive a little bit more. Yes, I think survive a little bit more. Anytime you've seen that guy sort of at death's door, he's had a way to make it through. I wouldn't be surprised if they play into that lore a little bit. If he's sort of at his last leg and just, finds a way to come through and he can do this all day. And also if they're going to play off of, he's got a great taunt mechanic that provokes situation. I think that's a great ability that I think they should really kind of focus in on and make better. I know that's already like, what? Make that better? It's already annoying. Yeah, well, Cap needs to be, I think, like really useful and a huge utility to have in group battles. So that's kind of the stuff that I want to see with him a little bit. Doctor Strange, again, he just, first and foremost, animation skill speed up. I think that's going to be the thing that they try to definitely do. I hope that they're successful with it. They need to pick the right abilities or all of the abilities. I think they need to sort of rework him a little bit where he just, think about him like he can create mirror dimensions. He can keep people within certain areas unless you're, well, I don't want to say that because that could be an MCU spoiler, but he's able to do things to people that like controls the situation, right? In some games, they'd straight up be called a controller. So I'd really lean in on animation speeds and an ability for him to sort of dictate what people can do a little bit, you know, maybe contained areas, stuff like that. I like that. I hope they really kind of dive into that, and it would play with the lore a little bit. But those two, I think, are the ones we're going to expect the most balancing out of. I also, you know, we keep talking about, well, you know, anytime I'm in an Alliance Omega War or a Mega War, it's just the group PvP setting is sort of a drag a little bit. It's just run in, shoot as much stuff as you want, fall down, go back because you're dead, rinse and repeat. You hope to survive a little bit. You know, Widow sticks out some because she has a little bit more ability to survive with her, you know, whether it's a second life or a, you know, going invisible and running away and then getting your ult back and going back type of thing. But it would be really nice to see the game where you could sustain that fight a little bit longer, whether you're a Widow or a Captain America, an Iron Man, whatever you are. I feel like group PvP settings need to be enhanced a little bit. And as much as it's nice to walk in and just go pew, 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 and see a bunch of stuff die, I want to be able to use my skills a little bit and think through and, like, I don't know. So I'll be curious to see how they tinker with that some. I want to see some, like, high level work on PvP group game modes where it just feels a little bit more rewarding to be in there, as opposed to just, like, I don't know. It's just like, all right, well, we checked the box and it's done and we did it, and okay, cool. Did all of our big people survive long enough? Okay, well, great. And then move on. The next thing I want to sort of speculate, some new content. I think we're probably due for a new invasion. It's due that, you know, there's no MCU stuff coming, but I do think that that we're going to get some invasion. I hope that they do this one well. I think the Sinister Six one was just meh. I mean, I liked that they had some different dynamics where you had to move around a little bit, but it wasn't, I mean, I ignored them, frankly. I just kept shooting the boss. I mean, I guess technically in that last phase of Maestro, yeah, you wanted to sort of make sure because it could get out of hand pretty quickly. But I think my hope for the new invasion is, since I don't think it's going to be tied to the MCU because there's not a movie until May, I think that Hela seems to make sense. She's super hard to beat as a world boss. She's not tough in the story necessarily, but a world boss, holy cow. So I wouldn't be surprised if they bring her in for an invasion. That's pure 100% speculation. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what would make sense. She's in the game at the moment. She could be sort of wreaking havoc. Unless it's a character they're going to bring out and introduce in the next, like, major patch, and this person's slowly starting to say, what's going on here? You know, this is my domain, or I'm going to inflict my will on you people. But I think Hela still has a lot to play in the story. I don't think she's done enough, and I could see that her being in there, and I could see it being super hard. I think that would make sense for her, given, you know, what she's like as a world boss. So I would think that that's the way that's going to play out a little bit. Again, you know, I don't know for sure, but I don't know. I think that sort of content, those sort of balancing things, I could see. I think there's going to be a lot more than that. I think that they're really focusing in on stuff, and I'm looking forward to, you know, whatever we get. You know, I'm going to say next week. I think that next week I'm hoping for something. You know, I don't know what it is, but I hope it's something. I want to see a live stream. I want to see some talks about this balancing, some new content, etc., and see what we get. So what do you think? You think we're going to get this stuff next week? You think any of the stuff I'm talking about is legit? They're going to, you know, focus in on it, you know, affect it? What are the things that you want to see, etc.? Love to hear from you. Comment below or come over to the Discord. Check it out there. And like I said earlier, hammer down the like button, click notification bell, subscribe, all that sort of thing. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.